The big change was that it will no longer be allowed for medical collections to be reported on your credit report to creditors. It's flat out eliminating them from credit reports.
This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
I heard these rumors about some changes or some issues happening with the CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Right.
What's going on with the CFPB?
They continue to sue people and do things under the administration. Basically, if they believe lenders act badly or bad things happen, they are going to come for you on that. So there's continuing that. But the big news was this past Tuesday, they approved a new regulation change that's going to affect millions of Americans, and it's regarding credit reports.
Okay.
And the big change was that it will no longer be allowed for medical collections to be reported on your credit report to creditors. It's flat out eliminating them from credit reports. So medical collections, they put out a press release and everything talking about this, and this has been in development for a number of months, but ultimately what they said was, medical collections are not a good predictor of a person's willingness or ability to repay a loan. That seems, I think, obvious to anybody
That makes sense.
who's awake at this time, right?
Right.
It makes a lot of sense.
So why is that being used to negatively impact people's credit scores and credit reports? And so they feel like the industry was using it as a way to increase the collections on medical debts ultimately and leveraging that against Americans across the board. So CFPB has now approved a rule that will go into effect in the next couple of months where you'll see medical collections disappear from your credit reports entirely. And therefore their credit score calculation will end up being different, hopefully higher for everybody that's touched. They projected there would be an average of a 20-point increase in a person's credit score based upon these changes. There was a bit of recent change prior to this where the credit bureaus themselves had opted into a new rule set that said, if the collection is less than $500 for medical, we won't report it.
Okay.
It's got, they did this sort of voluntarily as an industry, but now it's law.
Okay.
It's regulation basically that says you just can't report this, and it can't by a lender be used as a negative against a person.
Wow.
Which is really tremendous news. I mean, you're talking, I think it's a neighborhood of 25 million people have medical collections on their credit reports.
Yeah,
Most of them don't even know they have it.
Right.
I mean, that's the other
Yeah,
part,
and you
too.
see these horrible stories about these huge bills that they get from hospitals and such when they don't have insurance. And I mean, the counter to that is that the medical community's got to be freaking out. I mean, doctors want to get paid. I understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, now as a patient, what incentive do I have to pay them?
They still have the right to try to collect it from you. It just can't be reported on your credit report.
Yeah.
Therefore, doesn't impair your ability to get other borrowings.
Well, I mean, as they pursue if it's a larger bill like a hospital and they get a judgment.
Yeah,
then
they still have those rights.
Then they can report it as a judgment.
Okay.
Yes, but even nowadays, most judgments don't appear on credit reports either.
Wow.
Because once again, this is another rule that was tweaked over the last couple of years. I'm going to say 2.5, 3 years ago, where they changed it and said, you need now to have more information before you're allowed to put a judgment on a person's credit report. You need to have at least 3 pieces of identifying information, and most judgments don't have that.
Right.
And so they fall off, and then your industry, in the title industry, that's where you guys discover them, and I don't. And I'm suddenly surprised with this problem.
We find them.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah,
Rick.
Rick's going to dig it up.
I would love to not find them. I mean,
So that's just great news for us.
It is great news. I don't want to take. I'm not here to advocate for the medical profession. I'm just curious as
and certainly in the medical billing industry, it doesn't have the wonderful reputation either.
No, they're awful. Yeah, they're brutal. I mean, and I've been taking care of bills for my mother-in-law who's been ill of late, and so I've seen the way they pursue some certain things, and it's kind of ugly. It really is. It does get very ugly very quickly.